Okay, I have a very specific, highly vulnerable question for you today. Alex? And I need you to think back to a time when you felt completely helpless.
Oh no, that is a very dark way to start a podcast. I am already bracing myself.
I promise it is not that dark, but I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much pure panic do you feel when you get sick in a country where you do not speak the native language perfectly?
Oh, wow. Okay. I would say an 11. Maybe a 12 if I have a fever.
A 12? That is off the charts. You are a grown man. You manage projects? You can negotiate contracts. But a simple head cold makes you want to call your mother and move back home?
It is not just a head cold, Sophia. It is the vulnerability. Think about it. When you are sick, your brain is already functioning at 50%. You are tired, you are uncomfortable, and your immune system is fighting a war. And then, on top of that, you have to explain your physical symptoms to a stranger in a second language.
I completely understand that. Going to the doctor or the pharmacy is already stressful in your native language. There is medical jargon. There is the pressure of the waiting room. And there is the fear that you might say something wrong and get the wrong treatment.
Exactly. And when you add the language barrier, it becomes a nightmare. You are standing at the pharmacy counter. Your head is pounding, and the pharmacist is asking you rapid, fire questions. Are you on any medication? Do you have any pre-existing conditions? Is it a dry cough or a productive cough?
Productive cough. That is such a weird medical term. Like your cough is going to achieve great things in life.
Yes, I do not know what a productive cough is. Is it a cough that makes money? A cough that writes a novel? I just know that my chest hurts, and I sound like a broken engine.
Laughs, a productive cough just means you are coughing up mucus or phlegm, as opposed to a dry, tickly cough. But you are absolutely right. It is terrible terminology for a language learner.
It is terrifying, because you want to be accurate. You do not want to be the difficult patient who gives the wrong information. But in that moment, your vocabulary just evaporates.
It really does. Cognitive load is so real. Your brain is using all its energy just to feel better. So it drops the language skills first. Tell me about a time this went really wrong for you. Give me a specific story.
Oh, I have a terrible, terrible story about this. It was about 2 years ago. I had caught a really bad cold. My throat was sore, my head was heavy, and my nose was, well, it was very active.
I think I know where this is going.
I went to the local pharmacy. I was feeling miserable. I walked up to the counter, and the pharmacist was this very efficient. No, nonsense woman. She looked at me and said, "What can I help you find today?"
Standard opening. Very clear.
Yes. Now, in my head, I knew what I needed. I needed something for my nose, but I could not remember the word runny nose. I knew the word run, and I knew the word nose, but the phrase runny nose just vanished from my brain.
The classic tip of the tongue phenomenon?
Exactly. So, I tried to describe it. I pointed to my nose, and I said, very seriously, Excuse me. My nose is leaking. Do you have a plug?
A plug.
Yes.
Alex? No.
I said it. With total, feverish confidence. My nose is leaking. Do you have a plug?
I am losing my mind. I am actually crying. What did the pharmacist's face do?
She stopped typing. She looked at my nose. She looked back at me. And she said, very slowly, a plug. Like, for a bathtub.
Laughing uncontrollably. Oh my gosh. Alex, that is incredible.
I was so sick that my brain was just grabbing household vocabulary. I said, yes. A facial plug. To stop the water.
A facial plug. I cannot breathe. I am wheezing.
She just stared at me for 3 seconds. Then, she slowly turned around, walked to the shelf, and came back with a box of tissues and a bottle of decongestant. She handed it to me and said, here, for your facial plumbing.
Facial plumbing. She roasted you while you were sick. That is amazing.
I was so embarrassed. I just took the box, mumbled, thank you, and walked out as fast as my weak legs could carry me. I spent the next 3 days in my apartment, wrapped in blankets, wondering why I cannot just speak like a normal human being when I have a cold.
Okay. First of all, that is a hilarious story. Second of all, I promise you, that pharmacist probably tells that story to her coworkers all the time. You won't believe the guy who asked for a facial plug.
I know. It is humiliating, but it highlights a real problem for me. When I'm sick, I lose access to all the natural, everyday phrases. I revert to literal, childish translations.
That is completely normal. And it is exactly why we need to build a sick day vocabulary toolkit. Because when you are feeling awful, you do not have the mental energy to construct complex sentences. You need simple, natural phrases that do the job immediately.
Please, give me the toolkit. How do I describe a runny nose without asking for a bathtub plug?
Okay. So the most natural, B1, B2 way to say it is exactly what you were looking for. I have a runny nose.
Runny nose. It is so simple. Why did my brain reject it?
Because runny is an adjective we do not use for much else. We do not say runny eyes or runny ears. It is specific to noses. But it is the absolute standard phrase. Another great one is, I'm really stuffed up.
Stuffed up. I have heard that. That means your nose is blocked. Right?
Exactly. Stuffed up or congested. So you can say, I have a runny nose, and I'm completely stuffed up. That paints a very clear picture for the pharmacist.
Okay. I am writing that down. Runny nose and stuffed up. What about the throat? I always say my throat is painful, which sounds very dramatic, like I swallowed a sword.
Laughs. My throat is painful is very formal. A much more natural way to say it is, I have a scratchy throat, or I have a sore throat.
Scratchy throat. I like that. It sounds exactly like how it feels. Like there is sandpaper in there.
Yes, and if you're just starting to feel sick, you can use a great phrasal verb. I think I'm coming down with something.
Coming down with something. That is a good one. It implies you are not fully sick yet, but you feel it starting.
Exactly. It is a very native sounding way to express that early, vague feeling of illness. So, if you put it all together, you could say to a pharmacist, "Hi, I think I'm coming down with a cold. I have a scratchy throat, a runny nose, and I'm feeling pretty stuffed up."
Wow, that sounds so professional and so natural. I could actually say that without panicking.
You absolutely could. And notice how we did not use any complex medical jargon. No productive coughs or nasal discharge. Just simple, clear, everyday English.
That is a huge relief. But what about when the pharmacist asks you questions? Like, do you have any allergies?
Ah, the allergy question.
Yes. I always panic at this one. Because I think, what if I say no? But then I am allergic to the medicine? What if I say yes, but I do not know the English word for the thing I am allergic to?
That is a very valid fear. But the question, "Do you have any allergies?" is usually just asking about major, known allergies, like penicillin, nuts, or aspirin.
Okay, so if I'm not allergic to anything, I can just say, no, I do not have any allergies.
Perfect. Or, "Not that I know of," which is a great natural softener. It means you're pretty sure, but you are leaving a tiny bit of room for error, which is very common in English.
Not that I know of. I love that. It sounds very native. What if they ask, are you on any medication?
That just means, "Are you currently taking any prescription drugs or daily pills?" If you are not, you can simply say, "No, I'm not taking anything right now."
Okay. This is making me feel so much more prepared. But Sophia, I have to be honest. Even with the right vocabulary, the pharmacy counter is intimidating. The person is behind glass. They are busy, and I feel like I'm holding up the line.
I hear you. The pressure of the queue is real. But remember, the pharmacist's job is to help you. They would much rather you take an extra 30 seconds to explain your symptoms clearly than guess and buy the wrong thing.
That is a good perspective. But I still freeze.
Which is why we are going to practice.
Oh no. Role play. While I am pretending to be sick.
Yes, and it will be fun. I am going to be the busy, but friendly, neighborhood pharmacist. You are going to come to the counter, explain your symptoms naturally, and ask for a recommendation. No facial plugs allowed. Ready?
Okay. I'm sniffing. I'm holding my throat. I'm ready.
Shifts posture. Adopts a warm, professional, slightly brisk voice. "Hi there. What can I help you find today?"
Clears throat. Speaks slowly. Hi. I think I'm coming down with a cold. I have a scratchy throat, and my nose is very runny.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you feeling stuffed up as well?
Yes. Completely stuffed up. And I have a bit of a headache. I need something to help me feel better. But I have to go to work tomorrow, so I cannot be drowsy.
breaks character. Smiling. Oh, Alex, that was flawless. Coming down with a cold. Scratchy throat? Runny nose. Stuffed up. And cannot be drowsy. You sounded like a native speaker who just happens to have a cold.
Really? It felt a little bit like a script, but it flowed well.
It flowed perfectly because the phrases are designed to work together. You gave me all the information I needed as a pharmacist. Your symptoms. Your goal? Feel better. And your constraint? No drowsiness?
It feels empowering to have the right words. It takes the fear out of the interaction.
Exactly. When you know the script, you can focus on actually feeling better, rather than panicking about your grammar.
But what about the doctor's office? That is even scarier than the pharmacy.
Oh, the doctor's office? The final boss of healthcare anxiety.
Yes. I had to go to a clinic once for a minor ear infection. The doctor was very nice, but he spoke so fast. He asked me, "How long has this been going on?" And I just stared at him.
How long has this been going on? Is a very common, natural way to ask. When did your symptoms start?
I know that now, but in the moment, my brain heard going on, and I thought he was asking if I was attending an event. I said, "No, I am not going on anywhere. I'm sitting here."
Lavs. Oh, Alex. You are a goldmine of literal translations.
The doctor just blinked and rephrased it. "When did the pain start?" And I said, "2 days ago." It was so simple, but I had made it so complicated in my head.
That is the magic of medical English. The professionals actually prefer simple, direct answers. They do not need a poetic description of your pain. They need facts. It started 2 days ago. It hurts when I swallow. I have a fever of 101 degrees.
It hurts when I swallow. That is a very useful phrase. I always try to say it is painful to eat, which is okay, but hurts when I swallow is much more specific.
It is? And another great phrase for the doctor's office is, it's been acting up.
Acting up like a misbehaving child?
Exactly. We use acting up for any part of the body that is causing intermittent problems. My knee has been acting up. My stomach is acting up. My allergies are acting up.
I love that. It is so descriptive. My ear has been acting up for 2 days. That sounds incredibly natural.
It really does. And if you need to explain that you have tried to fix it yourself, you can say, I've been taking some over the counter medicine, but it's not helping.
Over the counter. That is a great B2 term. It means medicine you can buy without a prescription, right?
Yes, like ibuprofen, or cold medicine, or the tissues you bought to plug your facial leak.
Groans, please. Let us never speak of the facial plug again.
Lavs, I make no promises. But seriously, Alex, you are doing great. The fact that you're navigating these healthcare systems in a second language is incredibly impressive. It is a high stress environment, and you are handling it.
Thank you, Sophia. I think my biggest takeaway today is that I do not need to be a medical expert in English. I just need to know the simple, natural phrases for my symptoms, and I need to give myself permission to speak slowly and clearly.
Simple, natural phrases. Spoken slowly and clearly. That is the perfect mantra for any language learner walking into a pharmacy or a clinic.
I'm going to write that on a sticky note and put it on my medicine cabinet.
Please do. Now, since we have covered so much ground, I want to do a quick rapid fire scenario game. Healthcare Survival Edition. I will give you a situation, and you give me your immediate, natural response. No overthinking.
Okay. My throat is scratchy, but my brain is ready. Hit me.
Scenario 1. You are at the doctor's office, and the nurse asks, "What brings you in today?"
I would say, I've been having a persistent cough for about 3 days, and my chest feels a bit tight.
Perfect. Persistent cough and chest feels tight are excellent. Clear descriptions. Scenario 2. The pharmacist recommends a medicine, but it is very expensive, and you want to know if there is a cheaper alternative?
I would say, that sounds good, but it is a bit out of my budget. Do you have a generic version or a more affordable option?
Brilliant. Generic version is the exact right term. And out of my budget is a very polite way to say it is too expensive. Scenario 3. You are at home. You are sick. And a friend texts you, "Hey, how are you feeling?"
I would say, honestly, I'm still pretty stuffed up, but I'm getting some rest. Thanks for checking in.
Yes, thanks for checking in is such a warm, natural way to acknowledge their care without having to write a long essay about your symptoms. Scenario 4. The doctor asks, "Do you have any questions for me?" And you actually do not understand the diagnosis they just gave you.
I would say, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I understand. Could you explain that in simpler terms, please?
Absolutely perfect. It is polite. It takes ownership of your understanding. And it prompts the doctor to adjust their language without making them feel like they did a bad job.
This is incredibly helpful. Sophia, I feel like I have a complete survival guide for getting sick in English now.
You do, and the best part is, once you realize that you can handle these interactions, the anxiety starts to fade. You stop seeing the pharmacy counter as a terrifying interrogation, and start seeing it as just a place to get the help you need.
That is a really nice way to look at it. I think I'm finally ready to face the next cold without asking for a bathtub plug.
Laughs, I am so glad to hear that. And to all our listeners out there, if you get nervous going to the doctor or pharmacy in English, remember this: keep it simple. Use the natural phrases we practiced. And never be afraid to ask them to slow down or explain things more clearly. Your health is worth it.
And if your nose is running, just remember, it is a runny nose, not a facial plumbing emergency.
Exactly. We will see you all next time. Get some rest. Drink plenty of fluids. And bye. Alex?
Bye, Sophia.